Hey guys, welcome to Henthorn's Performance. Let's talk Diag. This is going to be Diag 101. We're going to talk about certain codes through this series and certain things that you might run into if you're sitting at home and trying to diagnose your own stuff. Today we're going to talk about P03XX codes. This ranges from P0300 to P0316. These are misfire faults. P0300 is a multi-cylinder misfire fault. These codes are usually generalized, caused by vacuum leaks, low fuel pressure, engine lack of getting air, something that affects all of the cylinders. The biggest thing that I'm going to set out a warning on chasing down these codes throughout my experience, certain four cylinders with certain manufacturers, the engine's not that great. The ECM and powertrain control modules aren't great at monitoring which exact cylinder is missing because it's such a drastic effect on the other cylinders. So you can get a P0300 multiple cylinder misfire and just have a really bad miss on one cylinder. So make sure that if you do run into a P0300, run a power balance test and make sure you're not checking all of the cylinders and looking for an all possible cause fault and it's just one cylinder causing the problem. From there we're going to go through P0301 to P0312. These are single cylinder misfire faults. P0301 cylinder 1, P0302 is cylinder 2, etc. These cylinder faults are usually caused by spark plug or coil problems. Sometimes could be more mechanical issues like loss of a compression on cylinder, bent valve, broken valve spring, stuff like that. Best way to diagnose these problems is I usually start with moving the coil and the plug. If you're working on like a front wheel drive V6 or something like that and the misfire happens to be on the rear bank, I suggest doing, because usually you have to pull the intake manifold off, is to move that coil and plug to a cylinder that's easier to reach, like a front cylinder, that if the misfire moves to that cylinder, you then can be like, okay, I have a coil or a plug problem and can easily reach it and don't have to tear the intake back off. When you move them, like I said, move it to a front cylinder and you can reach. If the misfire moves with that, you know you have a coil or a plug problem, you can then move just the coil, and if it moves with the coil again, then you know you have a coil problem. If it stays on the cylinder where you originally started, then you're going to have a mechanical problem like coolant intrusion through a head gasket, again, broken valve spring, low compression, something like that. You can use a compression gauge to go from there, and then if it stays with the plug, then you know you have a bad plug. Obviously, when your plug's out, inspect your plugs, make sure your gap looks good, no porcelain cracking or anything like that. Next, we're going to talk about P0316. This is a misfire under the first 1,000 revolutions of the engine. Every time I've seen this fault, it's been due to water intrusion in a cylinder. Almost always cylinder collapse or a bad head gasket. When you have this fault, if your coolant level's low, you can run to your local hardware store, Harbor Freight, whatever, get a coolant pressure tester, pull all your plugs out, apply pressure to the coolant system, and then see if it fills the cylinders full of coolant. Those are your P03, etc. Thank you for watching Henthorn's Performance. Let's talk Diag. This is Diag 101. If you have any questions, concerns, other things you would like me to cover here, I appreciate you watching the video. Like, comment, anything you want to say. Thank you. Have a nice day.